Yo, so what is up? So cold out here. It's cold in the G. A lot can happen in a week. Going downtown and seeing how it's developing, to having to say goodbye to some of your best friends, from an implosion that didn't quite work out, to getting caught in the middle of a shooting. I guess just a typical week. The week started off like any other week, slow and boring. My manager offered me a bagel. He was there last week working at Channel 7. So who am I to turn it down? I went to get a bagel and...
Yeah. To the second caveman out there. What did he do? I don't know. More importantly, how much did he get for it? I will never know the answer to that question.
Oh no, I'm sorry. Those are for sales associates only.
It's food.
Not for you. I'm sorry. The bagels are just for sales associates.
For sale?
No, it's free.
Oh, for free?
Not for you though.
It's just a bagel. Relax. One manager was pretty annoyed that we walked in on the meeting, but hey, the meeting hadn't started, and I thought getting a bagel wasn't a big deal. So I had a ton of work to do. I had to edit for the noon show. Because news is always breaking, we never know exactly what stories we'll be running for that day. So you might be editing one thing, and then some breaking news pops up. News comes hot and fast, and it waits on nobody. Sometimes a writer is just getting done writing a story, and it's a couple minutes before it goes live. So it's a race against time. Me, all the source footage, me making sure the edit is timed out just right. Sometimes the whole show, you're just minutes in front of. This is offline. So I'll run over the script real quick. I make sure everything's timed out just right. I throw everything down on the timeline, and I start editing as quick as I possibly can. Hitting all the right points at the right time, and making sure it makes slot sometimes can drive you insane. Making sure I make no mistakes and mess ups. And then I go to render it out. It's rendering out, but once it kicks it out, I'm ready to throw it into the servers so it can go live. But I have a problem. My computer is bogged down. It's running slow because I'm running so many different programs, so many different softwares. My mind is running 1,000 seconds a minute. Jeez, this thing turned to a brick.
They're for sales associates only.
For me, maybe?
No! You can't have any bagels, you can't have any cream cheese, and you can't have smell!
From time to time, we get companies that come in, they either cook or they give us something. It's usually food. This time was no exception. Oh man, let me hurry back to my seat. We just got word. Something exciting is finally about to happen. Somebody get the chopper on the phone, get them up in the air. The explosion is about to go down.
So you can see there that partial implosion went off with a bang, but then nothing happened after that. A couple of those steel beams did come down, but not enough to really make this rooftop here collapse.
That's right, Brianne. You probably can't see it behind me here because it's a little dark, but you can see those flashing lights. Everyone's out here just watching it, kind of babysitting it right now after what happened today. But you guys have been busy on social media. I can tell you right now, these comments have been pretty hilarious. They've been taking stabs after this botched attempt.
Oh well, that's how life goes. I got a meeting to go to. Sometimes things just don't work out. Man. Got your own office and everything, huh? This is Minister Dwight Crank. I met him downtown while doing a motivational video with my good friend Keith Kalfas. He owns the biggest YouTube channel for landscaping. And right now, he's in LA installing an aqua pond for Logan Paul, one of the top YouTubers that pretty much everybody knows. I met with Dwight in his Southfield office, and we went over details about producing a commercial for his military academy. So speaking of downtown and the riverfront, I hadn't been there since summer.
Back to Detroit now, the biggest U.S. municipal bankruptcy in history.
As you may know, the Detroit public school system is a shambles,
owing more than $18 billion in debt.
28 years behind bars for Detroit's disgraced former mayor who once promised a comeback.
The face of Detroit is changing.
People are making the Motown move.
Americans can thank Detroit for a lot.
So many people moving downtown, these new restaurants that are opening up, like bars and everything else.
Because Detroit is good at making things, that's exactly the opportunity some new businesses see now.
And it's come a long way since a few years back. Time to go check it out and see what's changed. It's the holiday time. Gotta love this. Gotta love how beautiful it is down here now. Especially how safe it is. I haven't been to Noel night since it started years ago. I've been hearing a lot of good things about it, so I decided to go check it out. What is going on? It looked like I pulled into a movie set. I counted 3 helicopters and about 40 police cars. Come to find out, I pulled right into the middle of all the chaos.
It's chaos in Midtown when what was supposed to be a peaceful night of fun open house events for Noel night turned violent as Detroit police say a 16-year-old opened fire. It happened around 8 o'clock Saturday night as crowds filled the street in between the Detroit Institute of Arts and the Michigan Science Center.
Well, it's going to be an early night. Back at work, another vendor came and brought us some food. During the holiday times, we usually have a company or two come in and bring us something. There was a meeting in our media room and I had tons of work to do, so I ran to the media room. Come to find out, another one of our long-term employees was retiring. I get back to work. That same week while I'm at work editing, I hear this.
So I've come to the decision that it's time for me to retire.
And just a few days before this, so of course, you know, we got to celebrate. Sometimes the best times are balanced by some of the worst times. Some of the greatest moments and the greatest highlights of my life have always been balanced by something else that's not so great. Transitions happen all the time. Sometimes it's faster than we like, and sometimes it's faster than we can keep up. Sometimes you fail on the first try, and sometimes you're blessed enough to get a do-over. We never truly lose anything in life. We only gain if we're wise. From the birthing of a friendship to the rebirth of a city. Just like anything that's worth hanging on to, it has some good, and it also has some bad.
It was the best of times. It was the worst of times. It was the age of wisdom. It was the age of foolishness. It was the epoch of belief. It was the epoch of incredulity. It was the season of light. It was the season of darkness. It was the spring of hope. It was the winter of despair. We had everything before us. We had nothing before us. We were all going direct to heaven. We were all going direct the other way.